Inside Out 2 is not a children's movie. In fact, no Pixar movie is purely for children. Kids will understand some aspects and probably enjoy the film, but only adults will grasp the essence of the script and the true message Pixar intends to convey. I was deeply moved. What a film! Oh, and this video contains spoilers. Inside Out 2 starts with Riley excelling in a hockey game, with the 5 basic emotions fully committed to helping her win the match. Everything goes smoothly. Right after that, there's a scene that may seem insignificant at first, but is crucial to the film's ending. It shows Joy explaining how Riley's protection system works, storing good memories in the subconscious where they form Riley's convictions and sense of self, while the not-so-good ones are discarded. This turns out to be Joy's biggest mistake. You're watching Cine Lovers, your go-to channel for animation, cinema, and movies. I'm thrilled to have you here for another video. So, Riley and her friends Bree and Grace did so well in the game that they were invited to a camp where they could join the Firehawks and play alongside Valentina, whom they admired. Everyone was happy. The emotions went to sleep, and suddenly the puberty alarm went off, leading a team to demolish the command room and build a new control panel. This is where the chaos begins, with the arrival of anxiety, embarrassment, ennui, and envy. Everything was fine at first, with the new emotions each in their place, but anxiety was overly eager and wanted to take over the control panel. Initially, she did well, making a few beneficial moves for Riley, and the emotions appreciated her actions, except Joy, who was jealous. Joy even advised anxiety to take it easy because the convictions formed Riley's sense of self. But what did anxiety do? She tore out the sense of self and discarded it in the same place as the bad memories. To top it off, she expelled the 5 basic emotions and trapped them in a glass jar, which ended up in a secret vault, turning them into repressed emotions. This already shows that when anxiety is in control in a good way, it's beneficial, but if it takes over desperately without thinking, it's not good at all. What is good, however, is your like and subscription. We are approaching 2,000 subscribers, so just click there because this channel is for you who love movies and animations. Upon arriving at the vault, the 5 emotions meet Bluffy and the Pochi, both of whom are part of Riley's favorite children's show. Lance/Blade is there too. He's a video game character, and the deep dark secret saves the emotions from the glass jar. I even made a video with more details about each of these new characters and my thoughts on each of them, so as soon as this video ends, just click on the card. Meanwhile, anxiety is in control, and the 5 basic emotions are completely out of the control panel, meaning Riley started to feel zero joy and became more anxious. This is another subtle detail of the story. When anxiety took over, joy was sidelined, literally repressed. Thanks to anxiety, Riley distanced herself from her 2 best friends to get closer to Val and started training hockey like crazy to join the Firehawks. But anxiety couldn't stay in control much longer, so Joy came up with the idea of sending Sadness to the control room and communicating with her through a walkie-talkie. And that's what happened. Sadness went there and started relaying information to Joy about what was happening. Meanwhile, joy, fear, disgust, and anger were searching for Riley's sense of self that anxiety had discarded. Here's another message. When anxiety takes over and removes Riley's sense of self, it's a real portrayal. When anxiety takes over any mind, it wants to make you believe you are its hostage. But that's not true and not good. The film implicitly suggests that people suffering from any type of anxiety should seek help as soon as possible. Sadness is caught by embarrassment, but he covers for her and doesn't tell anyone she's there. Also, comment #Riley if you have watched or plan to watch Inside Out 2. I'll be giving hearts to those comments. At the same time, in another part of Riley's mind, joy and the other 3 emotions find a place where people are working for anxiety. There, they are drawing various probabilities of what could happen in each situation of Riley's life. Anxiety uses Riley's own imagination to sabotage her, which is what anxiety does to people. But the 4 emotions start drawing good probabilities that irritate anxiety until she realizes that this is Joy's doing. A big fight ensues between the two, and eventually, Joy tells the truth to the workers, leading to a pillow fight aimed at dispersing them and taking anxiety's focus away. This works very well. This scene has another detail that not all kids will understand: the idea of shifting focus away from anxiety whenever it arises. Instead of spending more and more time on anxious thoughts and actions, the best thing to do is something that gives you pleasure, something that will take you out of that loop and consequently make you feel better. For these characters, it was a pillow fight. For you, it could be listening to your favorite music, drinking cold water, or even concentrating on breathing exercises. Meanwhile, in the control room, Ennui fell asleep and Sadness stole her phone, thus managing to take control of the panel. But then Anxiety realized something was wrong, found Sadness, and trapped her in a bucket. Well, after you've activated the bell on all notifications so you don't miss any videos from the channel, the four emotions find Riley's sense of self that had been lost after Anxiety threw it away. However, at the same time, Anxiety was creating a new sense of self that wasn't good for Riley. When Joy gave the command for Sadness to pull the four of them back to the control room through the same tube the sense of self had passed through, Anxiety simply destroyed this tubing. The five basic emotions were quite upset, especially Joy, who was very sad. But anger calls Pochi and pulls out several dynamites from him, blowing up all those bad memories that ended up becoming an avalanche heading towards the subconscious. At this point in the movie, Riley didn't care about Bree and Grace anymore and was more focused than ever on joining the team and being the best. But the Riley everyone knew no longer existed. Her sense of self was now different, thanks to Anxiety. Riley even fouls Grace and leaves the game, where she has a severe anxiety attack because Anxiety is desperate at the control panel. Anxiety is so frantic that Riley is having this crisis. So, ennui, envy, and embarrassment turned against Anxiety and tried to remove the new sense of self that Anxiety had created, but a strong hurricane was happening. Fortunately, the four basic emotions arrived in the control room, found Sadness, and together they helped the other emotions remove that sense of self that was causing chaos in Riley's life and mind. But it didn't work. Joy had to literally enter the middle of the hurricane and made Anxiety stop. They removed the bad sense of self and reinstated the old one. But remember that avalanche of memories that went to the subconscious? Each one ended up creating a conviction that together formed Riley's new sense of self, alternating her thoughts, sometimes good, sometimes not so good. This also shows that we don't need to take bad memories and completely forget them like Joy was doing. Instead, we can live with and overcome them, forming a new sense of self for Riley, a more mature Riley. Anxiety realizes she messed up, and they all embrace this new sense of self for Riley, calming her down. I cried a lot during this scene. It was very powerful. Then, some dust starts coming out of Joy. I admit I got scared at this part, thinking something was going to happen to her. But actually, from now on, Riley will be the one to call on the emotions to control her. When she wants to feel joy, Joy will be invited to lead the panel. They won't take over whenever they want anymore, and there will be no more chaos. Later, in the final scene, it's implied that Riley made it into the Firehawk, and the post-credits scene shows the deep dark secret telling Joy that Riley's secret is that she burned the carpet.
What's the secret?
We burn hole in rug.
Really?
If you didn't see the post-credits scene, it's because you didn't stay until the end. And that's the end of the movie. Congratulations to Pixar and to you for sticking around until now. To show my gratitude, I made this video explaining various details left open in the movie, so you can really understand the ending of Inside Out 2. This is your video, and here's my spoiler review. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next Cine Lovers.